Hello friends, this is Odds, and if you didn't catch it, the latest PTB that just came out today introduces a new survivor to Dead by Daylight. It's Alan Wake from the hit game Alan Wake. And survivors are mostly just skins of each other, they mostly play the same, but as far as survivors go, he's a pretty good one. He has voice lines, his clothes are actually pretty blendy, and he actually can hide pretty well compared to other survivors, and he doesn't seem particularly loud, so he's a good survivor to play. But what about his personal perks? Are they any good? They're not great overall, but they do have some edge cases where they can be good. I'm going to show you what they do, starting with the strongest one, Champion of Light. Right, so Champion of Light is a perk that works with blinding things, mostly flashlights. The first effect is that while this perk is active, you move faster while you hold a flashlight. Look at this. Now, there's already a perk that technically does this. Fixated from Nancy also makes you walk faster, which indirectly makes you speed faster. Makes your speed faster while you hold the flashlight. So, as you can see, this is actually pretty insane. And if you have both of these perks together, Fixate is only doing a little bit, you actually run at the same speed while you do this. So, while I do this, and I'm harassing a killer, that's maybe behind me, I basically move the same speed, so that's kind of crazy. But the interesting effect is what happens when you blind the killer with this perk. It then goes on a cooldown of 60 seconds, but when you blind the killer, it gives them a slowdown. So my friend Val's here, he's gonna help us out. I'm gonna blind him. Now move after me. Look at that. You see how he's not catching up for a little while? Then he will speed up eventually and hit me, but it takes 20% of the killer's speed for 6 seconds. It's not a lot. It sounds like a lot. It's not a lot. But especially if the killer is blind and they're running to something, it does add up to the point where... you will make a lot of distance. Let me show you some examples of what this looks like in practice. All right, I drop it and you break it right away. Is that okay? Okay, go for it. Yeah. So, assuming that we have some kind of pallet here. I reached that. Alright, so I think it's safe to say she would have hit me around the edge of this tile, which it's sometimes different, but always spawns here. Now let's try that with Champion of Light. See if we make it even further. Okay, like already I noticed that there's a major difference because I was so... Look at that! Like, I was so fast while holding it. Oh my god. That is a huge difference, man. That's without fixated, man. That's without fixated. The fact... Like, the crazy part is that normally, if you get to a pallet with a killer, right? Follow me. Like I don't have the perk because it's disabled, right? Break it, please. And I'm like, oh shit, no, I fucked up. Oh shit, I fucked up. Oh, I wasted so much distance, and now I get hit, right? But the thing about this perk is that it's gonna activate again. Is that if you mess up a flashlight, even if you mess it up, you're still so fast while you do it. It doesn't really matter. Could you please break this ASAP? So if I mess it up, it's like, okay, I didn't lose that much distance, you know? It's like, oh, okay, it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure I can fast bolt while holding this thing. Like, that's crazy. that's a bit insane, isn't it? So yeah, this perk does have a lot of I don't know, hidden potential, I think. Wait. Look, I escaped! Chase is over! Bloodlust doesn't build in. It starts again. Alright, I think our friend is doing it way better than before. Okay. I run. Okay. I think this was a good test. Okay. Okay, that worked. Wow, look at that! Look, I did that perfectly! I didn't fuck it up at all, and the chase begins like 2 seconds. I'm gonna look behind me. Like, look, it's the same as before. That's actually a massive difference. Right, so now we're testing the other perk. What's it called? Boon Illumination. This boon is not super strong, okay? The best case scenario is something like this, an indoor map where the gens are generally hard to find. Some maps also have totems that always are guaranteed to spawn in certain places. Hello, artist. This is one of those places. Midwich in the library, 100% always has a totem here. If it's not 100%, it's 99.9. So once you do this, anyone that is in the area will see all of this information. This allows you to find the basement to maybe stay away from it. This allows you to see if your teammates have been wasting time, which apparently they have, and see every gen in the map. And in indoor maps like this, it works through floors and it covers a decent chunk of the map. You go here. You know, it would be really nice if the effects lingered for like 10 seconds or something. Yeah, this perk could be a bit stronger. In my opinion, it could show you... it could show you... on top of lingering a little bit, it could maybe show you something else. What else could it show you? The windows on pallets would be nice. If it showed you the windows on pallets, that would actually be really good. That would be like a windows of opportunity that you can set up to help your teammate. Would you guys be against that? That would be nice. Or at least the windows, or at least the pallets only. The totems? Showing the other totems, I don't know how I feel about that. It could be an idea. I wouldn't be against it. And if it lingered a little bit, I think this would be really good. Now, some maps are the opposite of this. Some maps are really open. Oh my lord. Some maps are really, really open. And you see the gens perfectly. You don't really care about chests, so... This perk, it's not going to be as stable, but I do think that with a bit of love, it could be quite a clutch info perk. So I'm quite fond of it. I actually like it. I think it's my favorite of the new ones. I like info perks in general. Look at this, though. This is nice, man. Like you would be surprised how many people don't run Deja Vu. But the bigger problem with this perk, in my opinion, that we talked about earlier, if you play in a team, you probably don't need it. If you play in a team, you're going to have people be like, oh, gen in the classroom. Oh, gen next to the infirmary. Oh, gen here, 99%, you know? And if you play solo, there is a chance that everyone else is already running Deja Vu or some other perk and they don't need it. So when do you run this perk? When do you run it? As a team, as a solo? I think you run it as a solo and then regret it because maybe you needed something else. So yeah, a bit of a misfire, but it could be better. It could be better. It would be also really nice if it showed teammates within range. Yeah. There's a perk that does that already. Boon Circle of Healing shows you the teammates that are inside and are injured. But it would be nice. Yeah, if you could come here and you could see all of your teammates, I think that would be an amazing effect. Yeah, that would be really good, wouldn't it? But yeah, there's some ideas to make it better. Overall, okay-ish perk, but I don't think it will see much use. Now, let's talk about the final perk. All right, so the next perk is called Deadline. It's a high-risk, high-reward type of perk that requires you to be injured. Ah! So now it works. What this perk does is it increases the chances of you getting skill checks by 10%. 10% sounds very little, but the normal skill check chance is like very low. So 10% basically doubles it. It makes getting skill checks much more prevalent. Now, one thing that's important about this perk is that it stacks with other things that make skill checks more common, and toolboxes are the main thing. So if I go on this gen and use this toolbox, I think basically guaranteed to get skill checks fast. But here's the thing, skill checks will now appear in random spots. This does make them a little bit harder to hit. So do you honestly want more skill checks but they're more random? I don't like it. I don't think it's a good trade-off. Not to mention that this has a very unfortunate effect. Killer, can you kick this? This perk makes killer perks that give you random skill checks much harder. Check this out. Oh. Well, apparently I'm the best skill check hitter in the world. But you see it's random in the screen, right? So it's gonna be a little bit easier for you to mess it up like this. And at that point, this perk is actively working against you. The better you are, the better this perk gets. Listen. I agree with that, but there are still problems, okay? This perk doesn't work just for generators. It also works for healing, which means that if I start to use self-care, now if I hit that skill check, I'll get more skill checks like this. This is a good thing, right? More skill checks, more time that you save, and more points that you get if you hit them. But guess what? It's actually hard to hit them because they're random, right? And that's a problem. And keep in mind that they nerfed the skill checks on healing, so they're not that good. It's only 3%. That's like a second that it saves me. It's not that big of a deal. And if you miss them, then this perk does make the reduction a bit less, but it's still not great. It's just not that great. Now, the biggest problem with this perk is that you always have a better alternative, right? If you're trying to heal yourself or heal others,
that's ironic.
It is better to bring botany knowledge. It is better to bring resilience. Resilience is perfect. Resilience also works while you're injured. It makes you faster at gens, and you can still get the normal skill checks. So it's just better. And it also makes you faster at healing others and healing yourself. So resilience absolutely overshadows this perk, and you should always run it over this perk. Could you run both of them together? Yeah, but why? Just run Deja Vu, just run Botany Knowledge, just run Leader, just run anything to make other people or yourself heal faster, and that will just be better. It's true, with Hyper Focus, you would make this perk potentially give you a ton of skill checks, but let me be honest with you, unless you are a god, hitting Hyper Focus super fast skill checks that are randomly on the screen, that is almost impossible. That is really, really difficult. Could you have Stakeout? Yes, but that's 3 or 4 perks to do one thing that I don't think will work too well. So I don't recommend that you do that. It's too much. It's just too much. The one thing that I think this perk actually is kind of good at, Mr. Wraith, please hit us, is Autodidact. Could you please hit one of these folks? With Autodidact, your main problem is that this perk gets better only when you do skill checks, right? But doing skill checks is hard because you don't have any multiplier. So this perk allows you to hit skill checks more often. And look, the skill checks will be random, but they're still big, so they're super easy to hit. So maybe after one heal, maybe I already have 3 stacks. Let's find out. That's nice. Normally you can go a whole heal without getting one, so this is nice. It also works pretty well with medkits, with add-ons that... Look at that, I already have 3. So maybe after my second heal, look, I'm already good. Now the next one will be 5. Come on. That's pretty good. That's pretty damn good, isn't it? But remember, you need to be injured. And you need to find someone. And you need to find a teammate that won't run away like a scared Meg, you know? So, yeah, this is the best part about this perk. By far. And in that sense, it's actually kind of good. Yeah, that's pretty good. But I think that's all there is to this perk. Anything else, it's either too difficult, too situational, or there's another perk that does whatever that would do more consistently or with greater numbers. So yeah, overall this perk I think is an Autodidact enabler and absolutely nothing else. And that's all the perks on Alan Wake. I hope that this analysis was worth watching. Thank you. Bye bye. I quit now. The team posts are very important.